It's December 12th, 2022, and this video is going to be about, do you get residual income for being a sideline hoe? You know, like they say with Newton's law, for every action there's an equal or opposite reaction. Everybody don't know how to raise their kids. Everybody won't have a healthy life. And even if you do have a healthy life, it really don't, matter if, I guess if there are certain things that, there's no such thing as a perfect life. That's all I'm gonna say. And the reason why I was saying that is because there's a song by a singer named Monica. I listen to a lot of music, but I never listen to it like, I never really listened to the song. I'm gonna try to listen to the song, but it's a song called Sideline Hoe, and it represents, I'm sure it represents a sense of arrogance or a sense of an incompetent woman who really feels sure of herself with a male, right? I'm sure the song represents the fact that a woman is proud to be with somebody, or a male, and he has a sideline hoe. I always told people, like, that song by Pleasure P, Boyfriend Number 2, it represents the fact that you may have a work wife or a work husband or somebody that you pretty much, may cheat on with your main person based off, some type of bond that you form, or based off, some type of benefits, as far as, when they say a relationship can be like an arrangement. There are some benefits to polygamy sometimes, because in reality, whoever you rolling with the most, that's who gonna reap the benefits regardless. It could just be, something you do just for fun or whatever the case is. It just depends. Everybody raised different. And from my understanding, I was wondering, would you receive residual? Whoever wrote that song, Monica probably wrote that song, but then again, like, I'm studying heterosexuality. I too fall under this paradigm because of certain experiences, and it is very humiliating. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I was always wondering as a kid, I'm like, when we get older and we've got rules and laws established because of, I think mostly because of, medical reasons, and just seeing the type of stress you can experience depending on what type of environment you in, what type of mindsets that people have in your life can affect the longevity of your life in a general sense. I'm your everyday girl, but I ain't average. I can tell from all the analyzing that I've done that I really want to be a Geechee male. And I know for a fact that me sitting here realizing that these people got these natural ways of being. I'm getting off topic, but the point is, I was wondering, whoever made that song, I wonder, do they get residual income off of it? Because there's all kind of ways to hustle out here and accumulate a success rate, not just financially, but just in a general sense. I'm pretty sure there was a conversation about this song, or maybe it was just a moment that happened, and it was a cute little song that a girl wrote because of a man. And, stuff like that agitates me. Like I'm saying, I'm at a point to where I'm going to be one of those people. I'm an empath. Me and my mom, we've done what we could. I broke down a couple times, and, why am I not? Because at the end of the day, I'm not forming functional I'm not forming a functional mindset to myself. When I was a kid, they was teaching us to be dominatrix because of all the mindsets of the men. You got Wayne Williams. Ain't no telling who made that documentary. Things of that nature. People doing things where they needed to be structured, a little bit more structured, because obviously they're making, obviously these are men and women. We are men and women that we're being viewed as psychopaths. We're growing up. People are catching bodies, committing homicides. We got shows like First 48, and we have to realize what type of mentality that these people have and how can we lessen that, right? So, I broke down a couple of times and making choices and realized that I gave up on my womanhood a long time ago. And as far as me having a job now, like, I appreciate having a job and everything, but being that, there is supposedly a narcissistic effect to my personality based off the fate of my life and growing up and people forming superiority over me, it's still something that's very hard to deal with. My mom have submitted to a man who has a broken heart from his mom being dead, and it works out, I guess, because at the end of the day, you know, I guess some of these men who do lose their parents and stuff, I'm meeting men that lose their parents supposedly, and me growing up and simply being valued because of a man, because of men, or being devalued because of a man, I guess um, those humbling type experiences can help a man appreciate womanhood better. I think they think a little hard about women, and it's kind of hard. Like I said, I'm an outcast. My mama chose to have babies by 3 different men, and she didn't have to. She really submitted. So I'm pretty sure, if I leave this earth, she's well taken care of. I go off on them every now and then, but that's because, I wish I wish the best for them. I've always regretted my identity as my mom's child because I feel as though she could have had a more fun life and just been by herself, but she chose to give me life. And sometimes I get mad about that. And I have to realize that some people really, will never have the same, bad or horrifying, regretful experiences as others. I grew up. My grandma was married. My grandma had. I don't know if my granddaddy that's dead. I don't know if they were married, but you know, I watch American Gangster damn near every day. Whether I'm watching a little bit of the movie, catching a little, you know what I'm saying, watching it, just catching little scenes that I like to watch. I can like just listen to the movie, and it's something that represents how I feel like life is in general for like the average black person growing up with like old school people and shit. You know, it just that's the vibe of the life that I had growing up, like Tyler Perry movies. I'm glad that they are putting this type of life on display, on a pedestal, and not really exploiting it, but or what I'm saying, in a bad way, but just exposing the reality of everyday life for people that grow up in dysfunction. And when I say dysfunction, I mean basically things that aren't, you know, reasonably good for your, life in a general sense. There are some things that can be embarrassing, humiliating, that can lead you not to have a success rate, as far as your life is concerned. I grew up, like I said, the dysfunction of having to teach children to be dominatrix with men and introduce them to sexuality at an early age is not healthy to me. And that's why we have age limits, because if you're gonna have sex and have babies at an early age, that actually created tension between me and some kids too, because some of these kids obviously were just doing them or had access. They were really having a life to where they was ready to grow up, because some people really are that smart. They probably were already ready to live in what they call an adult life, if you understand the establishment of age limits and things of that nature. So once I began to feel outcasted because um even though I had sex had me, I ain't gonna say I had sex at an early age, there was definitely still an outcast feeling because I knew I didn't really want to live the life of an average woman, grow up and have babies and stuff. Because I'm like, I mean, who wants to be tamed by a man like that? I just want to have fun. So I'm not saying that the life that these other people are living is wrong. I'm just saying that that's my challenge as far as work, as far as in a general sense, dealing with other people. You're going to have to congregate. You're going to have to socialize. I feel humiliated with my experiences with the male species because that's how naturally life led me to be. You know, being popped over boys having sex with me, not being able to control their nature, and them really sitting there wanting to get some type of credibility out of my womanhood. You know, I don't really know if I feel easy about that. I feel very uneasy about some of these men, and at the end of the day, just like I was saying when I was a kid, they really are they are having benefits to their natural state of being men. So why wouldn't I be jealous or feeling a little, feeling some type of way about being a woman? Because I'm sitting here analyzing these people as an empath, analyzing these people that on the outside looking in and creating a voice for them that they already had for themselves. I appreciate music, and I'm pretty sure that the people that are doing music appreciate it too. Learning how to be in a studio and things of that nature. A lot of people really, there's comedy. People make a joke out of their struggle, but a struggle is very real. It's not a jokingly matter. It's not a joke that I grew up in too early, and I feel disgusted with myself for letting a man have sex with me, but I wasn't able to fend for myself, and I just really had to, I guess, humble myself afterward, or just accept it. That's, I guess, what me and humble mean. Accept reality. But I'm still very agitated by that fact because I got people out here that really wanted to ruin my reputation as a whole for their benefits. And I don't blame them for doing that, because if you can get in where you fit in, or you can get it in, that's how it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? If my defensive argument with, or debate with these kids that was already having babies in middle school and all that stuff was that, hey, well, you know, at the end of the day, we are growing up too fast. So I don't expect to have much of a functional life, because ain't none of this shit really normal to me. It's not really normal, with all this technology and things that we have so much to be thankful for. It wasn't normal for me to be having sex with no little boy at an early age. It wasn't normal for people to be making kids to be taking sex education at so and so age. I mean, you have to learn it, but at the end of the day, there are no benefits as far as my personal life is concerned. There are no benefits to growing up fast. A lot of people are making money of exploring their dysfunctional lives, and that's cool and dandy, but at the same time, let's not keep the dysfunction going. Let's, you know, let's just, I still feel like very threatened by some of these people I grew up around. You know, these rappers and stuff are supposed to be our detox. They're growing up in the same neighborhoods we're growing up in, and we're watching these videos. Like, man, when I walk outside, so and so, Yo Gotti lives right up the street from me. If he's still alive, I know this shit. I'm still alive too. And at least he's a man and he's getting shit off his chest and stuff. You know what I'm saying? These people are venting and not just holding everything in. So I knew that if those kids were forming family bonds at an early age, that's why I really wish that when I was a kid, I really started rejecting my womanhood, because if I was it's the reason why I was being rejected. And I really do regret my life as a woman, and I think it makes intellectual sense. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was the way that some of these men were thinking, their thinking process, it seemed to just be natural for them. And I ain't gonna say I was in denial, because I don't feel like I was in denial. I just began to realize that their behavior was predictable to me personally. And I'm like, damn, if I was a man, these bitches wouldn't be questioning me about shit I'm doing. I'd just be a cute ass boy going around doing my thing. But that ain't how it happened for me, so that's the challenge. My challenge is dealing with my womanhood, and at the end of the day, these men are having an advantage because of just simply being men. That's my challenge. Some of these niggas like, one day you gonna get older and work for me and shit like that. I'm not sure how I feel about that. They ain't gonna feel my pain. Shout out to fellow. I don't know who he was, but it's some random nigga that I called from Florida or Jamaica. He's some shit like that. And I was just like, I don't know who you are, but you lucky to just have the image of a man. I mean, he's not an image, he's an actual man. And I'm like, I'm going to forever be judged for the nature of my womanhood. And there's so many benefits that I will not have because of being a female. It's hard. It's different. It's so different, man. It's so different. As I get older, that's the point of, valuing intellectualism. It gives you a better quality of life on a mental level. I have to justify everything with intellectualism, and that actually works. It actually pulls stress out of your brain, like, because I was like, man, I really want to grow a mustache and be a man. And I think even if I do that, there'll be a certain level of respect that I should get because of that. Like, shit, Shade just really want to be a man. You know what I'm saying? Then I see some of these older people, like, when I was a kid, I remember a girl had a lot of hair and stuff, and they was like, that mean you have rich blood. You know what I'm saying? To justify that, because I'm like, people will judge you by the way you look. People will be like, well, shit. Like, yeah, you gotta. That's the point of being an intellect. And if you're a good debater, you can be a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's about your wordplay, and boom, you win cases. Then you have financial success. You have mental success. You have intellectual success. You know what I'm saying? So it's real. Like, if you can show that you have a focused mind, there's a better quality of life for you. So for all the men out there that understand, I guess, a butch mentality, I still never really looked into it. I've seen documentaries and stuff, but that's what people, I guess, for a woman that rejects her identity as a female, and really, realize the perks of manhood. That's pretty much what you are, and it's fucked up that I just really hope that next lifetime that God really makes me a man, and not just a man, but a Geechee nigga. And I mean that shit from the bottom of my heart. I do not like my identity as a woman. That could ruin my reputation for trying to achieve an intellectual mind as much as possible. When you lack confidence, people sense that. But you gotta understand why. I would never value my womanhood. I don't give a fuck who died, none of that shit. Men are special in this world, and it shows. There are women that have chose to give them their love, and I appreciate that too. But at the same time, I can't appreciate it 100%. They know that. Niggas is grateful. I don't give a fuck how they look, how they act, none of that shit. A woman submitted to you and gave you kids and everything. Look at how us women getting treated. You want me to just be a woman and stop looking at the shit from this looking at the shit and taking offense to it, man. Look at all these musicians and shit. They be trying to put women on the pedestal, but we ain't nothing special out here. It's different. Motherfuckers will perceive me to have an attitude because of my womanhood. But if a man get mad and get angry, then I feel sorry because it's a stigma. I see men that have effeminate personalities, and I be like, want to blame us women because of the stigma of it all. No, man. Some people come up a certain way. You are who you grow, who raises you. A lot of men are taking advantage of the fact that there is a double standard when it comes to man and womanhood, and I can't even blame them for that. I can't blame them. You know, it's just ridiculous, man. You know, I'm gonna start back doing my push-ups and sit-ups and everything, but I have to talk myself out of being discouraged out of seeing so much success when it comes to manhood. I can hear it in my voice that I'm jealous of men, and that shit it's not agitating for me. I like the fact that I'm jealous of men because it actually encourages me to do certain things that may be beneficial to me. And at the end of the day, like I said, yeah, I've seen women put on muscle and get muscles and all that shit. It's not the same. You know, so shout out to my butchers, I guess. Shout out to people in general. You know what I'm saying? That really just ain't nobody special in this motherfucker. I don't have a clear subconscious. That's why I'm up at, what time is it? 5:03 in the morning. I go to work at 2 o'clock later on tonight, this afternoon at McDonald's, and I'm just trying to keep my composure. You know, I'm not innocent. I don't claim to be, but when I came to the realization that people was really living some type of way, it ain't even worth it, man. You'll realize it. Life will humble you. You know what I'm saying? Or not just, humble you, but it'll make you think. No matter how much success you accumulate or money you have, there are certain things you can't get back. People's lives and everything. When I was a kid, there's a slogan that a lot of people use. I'm a country bumpkin, I guess. I grew up around a lot of people that speak Geechee. They all said they wanted to force my hand because of my lack of empathy for men, which I think I do sympathize with men, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think I do from the fact that, you know what I'm saying, I'm not with a man. So that made me an outcast. Or when I was in school, I remember grown ass men saying, well, why you ain't got no boyfriend, this and that and the third, we don't have to worry about this bitch. So yeah, motherfuckers like I own companies and shit like that, and we gonna make sure, she knows who's boss. That's what it is, right? I guess when you're a narcissist, that's what it's about. Let's show her who's boss. When you have a manager, you have to submit to them, or take the stand. They think that a butch really wants to play the role of a man. A woman could never be a man. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's just obvious. So I guess one day, I get mad every time I see a woman. I think that's why I really be having attitude. Because when I look at women, I know they done submitted to men and shit, but I'm like, we ain't nothing special. As compared to men, I don't give a fuck how much you exercise, none of that. We still women. Motherfuckers still be walking with twists after being penetrated by a man, or at least we formed a paradigm and think we're twisted. But some of these men, you know what I'm saying? Some men don't have, all men don't seem hardcore or have hardcore personality. Some men twist too. It just depends. Cause I'm like, when it come to working out, you got to be flexible and shit. Because a lot of times when people are athletes and shit, they'll tell you, shoot, the smallest thing count. Anything in certain movements, moving quick this way, that way, will be, it's all physics sometimes. The reason that you win, the reason that you are a winner. And I'm saying, it's just been a lot of ignorant people in my life. Like, man, I wish you wasn't like that. What you mean you wish I wasn't like that? Bitch, you understand the fact that I'm jealous of your ass? You got a family and kids that love you. And then if you do wrong, you got that as a crutch. I don't have no goddamn crutches. When I do wrong, I gotta get the fuck on. If a bitch boyfriend rape me, I gotta get the fuck on. And when I look up the concept of submission with women, you know, as far as the interaction between a woman and man, it ain't even really, most of these little videos on YouTube ain't even that long. That shit is not an important thing really. Like that. I'm not just saying that I'm a YouTuber. I guess I'm a YouTube person. I'm growing up and a lot of people going live and shit. That's how they promote, you know, themselves and selling themselves word of mouth. So it's so many different things. Like, I just got a Bigo. A lot of people that I grew up around pretty much already had these things to, you know, promote themselves or sell themselves or whatever the case is. I grew up in Georgia and I can't even take pride in that simply because I'm a woman. Because there's a certain code of ethics that people live by. The world that I live in, you will have more positive energy coming toward your way when you're a man. I see that. That's just how I see it. I mean, I may be a little naive, but that's just how I look at it as a woman. And I think in the union between woman and man, that probably is a conflict of interest. Sometimes somebody wants to be wear the pants, and you know, it just depends. You know, I know a lady was sitting there trying to keep her daughter away from me when I was a kid. You know, be careful raising your kids in public school and stuff, because they didn't want, she wanted her daughter to stay comfortable, and I'm sitting there telling her I ain't trying to goddamn be grown. And there are definitely, I'm pretty sure that if you're a woman with a man, there are definitely some benefits to it. You know what I'm saying? Because a man, most men, they'll make you strong as possible. There, some of these men are pretty cool dudes. Because I mean, like, if they won, they wouldn't be able to pull like they is. But I ain't got nothing to do with these folk relationships and shit. But I'm saying, I'm a woman. I'm on the outside looking in. All I see is a man being with a woman, and shit. I hope one don't have an advantage over the other. That's how I'm looking at this shit. So from a simple-minded perspective, I'm like, shit, these women, you know, I guess all my detox. These women ain't just got one baby daddy, they got more than one. Like, nigga, you gonna have to share. Just like you say, you on whatever. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in any relationship with these people. But these men got natural ways of thinking, and I've analyzed that. So I'm glad they can't say that there's not a contributing, you know, that I haven't contributed to part of the, you know, success that they can have to provide their children and things of that nature with good lives. Because I have. You know, a lot of creative people are crazy because you do a lot of thinking. You know, there's a lot of, when you're born on this earth, there's a lot of stress that you're going to experience. And it's up to the people that had you to protect you from experiencing too much of it. One thing I notice about, you know, the people in my life, you know, I've got to look more into it, but I could be wrong. But as we get older, you can tell when somebody is stressing, you know, drinking liquor and stuff like that. The things that are mental, for most, the idea that you will be emasculated. some women like me, I got a lower tone voice, and I'm like, all because I'm my mom actually, I guess that's it's a matter of physics too. Like my mom, I think my mom was a drinker, or she drinks wine and stuff. It's certain places, it's certain I can tell that we have female voices, but they ain't as soft as they could be. You know what I'm saying? So women that have more feminine tone voices, could be the reason why we lose our job, or they're a detox for us. You see what I'm saying? Like, cause people will measure your personality by things like that. So I'm like, I done formed all kind of paradigms, and I'm like, I got all kind of, look at all these happy ass niggas with their girlfriend chilling. And, they got their girlfriend saying, well, I can tell she a bitch because she sitting here analyzing my nigga for how he really is and shit. And I'm like, I don't really know how to feel about this situation. I've got to worry about if I go around these people, are they gonna put things in my food? Are they gonna, you know, it's all up to you. I know I'm working in these fast food restaurants, I'm like, the things that they recording when you in school and shit, writing disciplinary referrals and shit like that, all that shit can count in your life. When I'm at work, well, why I see a lot of pessimists come to the cash drawer. I'm like, I'm not the only pessimist around this motherfucker. I'm not the only person going through some shit. That one little cheeseburger or that one order I take could mean the world to somebody. So perhaps maybe I'm developing passion because of intellectualism. That's what I'm saying. That's what life you gotta do. I'm like, I'm dedicating my life to trying to read and trying to get over all these old paradigms of just bullcrap. Because there really are, I know this is like, I'm going to say an intellectual Joe, sadistically sick men out here that really want to prove something that that's really predictable. When you're an intellect, you can't be that predictable. I mean, you can read people and stuff, but I'm 30 years old. I'm not satisfied with the amount of knowledge that I've inputted in this brain of mine. I've got so much more to learn. This literature was not my strong point. I didn't study words that much, but I am going to be checking out books, and I'm really writing down words and studying them. That's all you need. And when it clicks, it clicks. Everybody has different ways of learning, and that's the thing about learning, man. Sometimes you can read the definition of something, like it's just like speaking with colloquialism. I'm like, let me not think too hard about this. It is what it is. Let me read this. I still realize I really enjoy the art of learning, man. Read the definition, write it down twice, whatever I need to do, write it down in blue ink, pink ink, red ink, whatever. But as long as I write it down, whenever it clicks naturally. That's what a skillful learner is. That's what I'm trying to trigger my mind into, instead of thinking about all these depressive thoughts that are trying to hold me back. But ain't nothing you can do. That's why I'm like, anybody that's going through something, don't get that shit twisted. I'm gonna always experience a certain amount of stress just because of the fate of my life. I grew up and people already have established families, so they've got to protect their families. I grew up in a typical household, black people doing their thing. Until you own something, then you ain't really worth shit. You know what I'm saying? But the first thing you own is your body. So this is your temple. This is the first thing you got to take care of and take, pride in yourself. Other people have pride too. I'm sitting here, like I said, being an empath, sitting here watching other people take pride. But these people ain't got nothing to do with me. There's things I gotta do to get over the fact that I'll never be a man. I never have a man body. Being a woman means nothing to me on a physical level. But it's all good though, because that's what the fate of my life have led me to be. Like I've said, I experienced sexuality at an early age and I feel violated. I have to try to think of things that are positive energy for me, mostly women. But then again, there's stress that comes with those detoxes because a lot of these women have boyfriends and women and men in their life, and it just manhood really fucked up the flow of my detox with feeling positive. So I have to create intellectual, you know, paradigms in my mind to get over, the things that make me mad. I think, like I've said, I know that there are people, I need to own something. And I think, accomplishment, like they said, the things that I've been on, the things that I've experienced in my life is I'm an outcast. Like I said, my mama got kids, my grandma got kids. I'm not sure if being a manager or something as far as retail is concerned is going to be something that I achieve, but we'll see. I ain't really skillful, so it could be at 50 years old when I decide that I want to go ahead and get over the burden of my womanhood, because it really is. And I don't think my fellas should take offense to that. Because one day we're going to get old and ugly. I mean, that's of course if you take care of yourself. But I see some of these old people and stuff, I'm like, they probably have so many experiences they probably have. Like, they done got over the shit. You know, I don't really take offense to too much. I just take offense to my womanhood. Majority of the time I'm thinking about, like, damn, why am I in a female body? It's really toxic for me. And it's okay. It's just the natural order of things, how things happen for me. So with all that being said, man, let me see. I've been looking up words, and it's been so detoxing for me. And the whole application of the whole process is when I'm. Let me be an optimist and say I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna keep looking these words up and understanding life, because that's exactly what you're doing when you read. You're understanding life. And it's just like working in fast food. A lot of times people, can ridicule you for different things. And I say being a debater is good. You can be a lawyer. You can reap the benefits of, of socializing with other people. Shit, I debate with myself all the time. Like, man, you need to just man up and stop acting like, you shouldn't be appreciative of your life. You got to have an intellectual identity. I'm like, man, I'm acting so stupid today. Let me look up some words so I can be smart. Smarter. That's the point. Because people will trigger you, and that's an intellectual identity too. People be like, well, shit, Sade was experiencing sexuality at an early age. Let's make fun of her for that. I got to get over that hurdle too, because I'm like, when it comes to manhood, I'm like, it really makes I think they want to use that emotional baggage against me. And I'm like, it shouldn't be emotional baggage, but it is. Like, I don't like the fact that a man had sex with me, because look at what they're becoming. They're really getting off on the fact that shit, manhood run this shit. Let me fuck this bitch because of them being raised to be dominatrix. Ha ha ha, I'm a man. Let me goddamn blow it in your face. That's how I'm taking it. I'm perceiving you to be egotistical, and I'm pretty sure the feeling is mutual. I'm like, damn, these niggas really want to use my womanhood to their advantage. But they ain't doing it on purpose. Let me be optimistic. Perhaps they are. It doesn't matter. That's what a lot of men were trying to teach me growing up. Like, shit. It is what it is. Like, shit, I'm a man and I got these women submitting to me. I will be able, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling. I say it's different. The way I see women compliment men and stuff. I'm not teaching. I'm not saying that, I guess as a butch-minded woman or whatever, as a woman that's jealous of men, I'm not gonna encourage no woman to goddamn like men in a certain type of way. But there are women that have learned to value them, and that's the point. Even if you do grow up in so-called dysfunction, what you view as dysfunction, it takes work to unite with the other gender, and you got to appreciate them. And I'm pretty sure that it is what it is, because I'm like, it's so much. I'm pretty sure men are targets too for simply being men. It is what it is. But yeah, let me learn some more shit and just move forward with my life, man. But yeah, man, like I said, I have a lot of emotional things. I think hard about a lot of things. So it's ridiculous, man. Like, start right doing my push-ups and shit. Just really goddamn get over it. I got a shirt with that saying on there. I'm really trying to channel my mind into goddamn beast mode. For real, like Boosie, Trill fam, beast mode. Like, I'm really trying to go in beast mode for real. But yeah, man, shout out to lesbianism. Shout out to womanhood. That's the best I can do. When this goddamn fro grow out, I put products in my hair, so I really think that's the reason why. But yeah, I'm about to grow me some goddamn. I'm about to try to grow me some goddamn wigs, some shit like that. Like, I really ain't finna just let this shit free form out and fall. That's how I want my shit to look, like natural. I really like that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain level of peace that I associate with, free form. It represents. Like, I'm one of the people that watch videos of people in Jamaica and shit for a detox. Like, shit, when you start accumulating success, that's where you want to go. You want to go to these little islands, just, based off geography. It seems like they would have fertile land, and it just feel like, shit, if I drink some water out there, it probably is better. I mean, a lot of people be like, but some of these places don't have don't have this, that, and the third. You can go to certain places and there's no pipelines or filtering systems, but you really got it. I'm like, I ain't even smart enough to understand specifically what they do to cleanse our water. It really don't matter to me, but I still stressed about it a little bit because somebody told me to stop drinking sitting water, but I also observed, the water around you. You know what I'm saying? It's the way they do it. And, as far as working in factories and stuff, people really have to be clean and stuff. So I was like, that's why I was thinking about going vegan one day and really cleansing myself so I can really, go to these places and see what it feels like to be somewhere, be around. You know what I'm saying? I asked you where all these products and things come from that we get. You know what I'm saying? And drug to me is not just a drug anymore. Just from, I guess, a broader perspective. Shit, motherfuckers selling water bottles and everything. They ain't doing them but boiling water and cleansing it. Then all the dirt particles float to the top and hoping that it's just clean enough for you to drink and stuff, right? But I'm pretty sure there's more to the process. Motherfuckers be probably that when I went to a program, we went camping. There's like some type of pill that you supposedly you put in water that's supposed to get rid of dirt if you just getting water float off a river rock or some shit and them just walking in the middle of the goddamn jungle somewhere. But yeah, man. But shout out, I'm in fast food. Shout out to American Deli. I be eating at South Carolina wings and shit. I'm like, ain't nothing like American Deli downtown Atlanta and Greenbrier Mall. I don't know who be cooking that shit, but the shit just tastes right on a good day. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's certain things about my city I appreciate, like American Deli, but you know what I'm saying? It's about the muscle out here. You don't know what people doing, the people that own them restaurants, as I'm understanding the restaurant business. Gotta be careful, some of these niggas and stuff, and they're close with their girlfriend, niggas be skeeting in their food, they weed and everything just to claim ownership. Y'all be careful out here, man. And you know, I guess that's the point of praying and stuff like that, because people do shit like that. Just be like, shit, I run this shit. That's what people want to do. So it is what it is, man. Like, y'all keep y'all heads up. I'm gonna try to keep my head up and keep it moving. Like, I just woke up. I gotta start back working out. I need to get better sleep. I get sleep, but it's not as good as it need to be. You know, I got a lot of things that agitate me, you know, throughout my day. Like I said, I got emotional triggers dealing with men and dealing with, you know, feeling a little, you know, inferior to them, and you know, motherfucker really took my goddamn womanhood and dragged that shit in the ground. I'm looking at the ground now. I'm looking at the floor, and I'm like, we gonna pick my womanhood back up and just live. I don't know. I was thinking like, man, let me just go back to working out and build, I guess, confidence from that shit. That ain't what I'm saying, cause I'm like, that ain't really gonna help. Cause I'm like, man, when I look at women, I be getting mad as fuck. I'm like, shit, it's so big. Things that I can see. If I was a man coming up in the environment that I'm coming from, there's so many benefits to being a man. It's ridiculous. But I don't know. I'm like looking at myself. I'm like a sell jewelry or something like that. Being that, you know, I'm one of them people that support rappers like Lil Boosie and stuff. I'm like, these are just human beings. Before they express themselves, they're human beings, and I'm like, motherfucker, look real good. Like, I actually named his clothing line based off the fact that I was like, man, I couldn't be no little Boosie. I couldn't be no damn nigga from Louisiana. I'm like, nigga look good. Nigga got yellow Adidas jogging suits and shit. I'm like, everybody can't. This shit come from within. You know what I'm saying? You have to be born and bred a certain way. That's why I'm like, shit, I can never be that nigga, but I support that nigga simply because I do. I'm like, man, shit, I got to find my own lane and shit I can do about the person who I am today. Shout out to my mom. You know, shit, I hope there's a better place after we leave this earth. You know, shout out to my job. Looking forward to having a positive day and do more push-ups and stuff. I need to just put my emotions to the back burner and really stop, you know, really I want to learn to appreciate manhood and not be so butch about it. It's either I can or I can't. I don't know. It is what it is. Cause I be being lazy on purpose. I'm like, man, me and I ran so much game. They got me thinking I'm working out because of them. That ain't even the case. I'm working out for me. Let me be an optimist. But they really is. I'm like, it really women out here that's just like, listen, now, I may or may not have inferiority complex to my nigga too, but shit, I did that shit. I had babies. I did that shit. So let me just be positive and look at it like that. So, you know, anybody that probably feel inferior to a man and really feel like they have an identity crisis because of that, I know you understand me. It can be very emotionally overbearing. But it's all good. When I grow this hair out, it's going to give me confidence. It's going to be a sign of growth in general. So, yeah, man, shout out to all my freeformers. Shout out to all my men. Keep doing y'all thing, man. Lead the example. Shit, uplift me, embrace me, or get ran over. Cause believe you me, it's possible. Stay away from the guns. You ain't gotta fight. Now I say that now though, but nah, man. Like they got me like shit. Well, you need to be a boxer. You want to prove yourself? Nah, man. They out here, men out here running all kind of games, making all kind of games. I may or may never get over that fact, but we'll see. Anyway, shout out to you know, we ain't nobody special in this motherfucker. I think I'm gonna get that on a shirt one day, for real. Cause niggas be out here doing all kind. Niggas really be living that shit they rapping about. And I'm done.